Leave it to you.
Well, Derek, what is your reaction to the trade, and how will you work Alexei Shved into this team?
I'll answer that question first. I want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Chris Bosh and his family, and that he is okay and will be okay. I think that's tough for anybody in our business to get that report and get that news, and so we wish he and his family the best, and we'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers. No, I mean, we're gonna, in terms of the trade, we're gonna miss Pablo and what he brought to us, his presence, his toughness, and I think he often set an example for guys here in terms of how dedicated you need to be in order to be a pro for as long as he's been, and taking care of your body, doing the things you need to do. So we'll miss him, and we got some assets in return, as well as Alexei Shved, who in the last couple years hasn't had the role that he had, I think, to start his career, and we're hopeful that kind of the change of scenery and a perimeter player who's versatile in terms of being able to handle the basketball with some size as well as make some shots, can be something that's good for us. So he'll be with us in practice tomorrow, and we'll try to get him as acclimated to our group as quickly as we can and give it a go.
Similar to the trade earlier this year, you now have a different looking team, especially with Amari gone and Carmelo out. So what is your focus with this team moving forward the rest of the season?
Well, we're continuing to try and build the necessary habits and approach and mindset to winning, and that doesn't change based on personnel. The hope and the desire for us is to continue to work at doing those things on a daily basis, so that the guys that we do have understand what it takes and what we want, what the expectations are. And then as time goes on and the team evolves, new guys come in, that there's a way of doing things that becomes intrinsic in who the New York Knicks are. And it's very easy for players to see and for us to explain that being a part of this team, this is what we're about.
What will the starting lineup look like tonight? And is this a lineup that you will stick with for the rest of the year?
No, I wish I could say that. But as you know, things change every day in this business. The deadline has passed, so our roster hopefully won't change much and we'll stay healthy. But tonight, Clee Anthony will be at the wing, Jose and Langston at the guards, and Jason and Lou up front.
Coach, in the 90s, the Heat and Knicks had this fierce rivalry. I don't know if you had to get back to that again, but do you think that it still prevails today, where there are rivalries in this league, out of conference, or in conference, in division? Is that still something that people look at?
Yeah, I don't know if the term rivalry still applies necessarily, in our game. I think there are still some teams that don't like each other very much and play hard against each other, or I think there's a lot more emotion on the floor than normal in certain games. I think Western Conference teams, for me at least, with my history, stick out more with the Spurs and the Clippers type of, two teams that don't like each other. The Heat Knicks history is before many of these guys were even born, so they probably don't remember much of it at all. We do. And I don't, as far as rivalry, I don't know. I think, there has to be a very long history of preventing the other team from reaching the ultimate goal. I think that's where a rivalry really exists. Starts in school and high school and colleges, where the conference and the championships and the divisions and all those things, that's really what that's about. And so I don't know if that exists as much in the league now. A lot of guys are former AAU teammates and very friendly during the game. And so I don't know if we'll ever see Heat Knicks rivalries of that kind from the 90s.
Can it get back?
I don't know. I think our game has evolved. The game is officiated differently. The way technical fouls are handed out, the way guys can be suspended or ejected from games. That's taken down the notch of physicality that existed then. And obviously, I think the mindsets are a little different from players that were a part of our game, 20 years ago. I think guys are still competitive and still go out to win every night, but I don't know if those days will ever be back, especially if we watch the All-Star game Sunday night.
Derek, do you have an opinion coming off the break now? Obviously, it's a week long, but it kind of compresses everything else because the season still starts basically on the same day and ends on the same day. Do you prefer for there to be less games? Do you feel like everything's sufficient as is? Do you have a take on that at all?
No, I mean we won't know the impacts of this process until the season kind of plays out, and we see how teams kind of get through it, and I'm sure injuries and those things are being charted for various teams and the schedules. There's obviously a lot of conversation about the schedule and the format and the playoff format and different things that may or may not change. For us, it was in a year where with our trip to London in the middle of it and those things that made it a really interesting year in terms of the schedule. But, I don't think it changes teams' fortunes necessarily, but, we'll see. Hopefully guys, can come out of this healthy and able to play some good basketball down the stretch.
What do you think of yesterday's trade deadline and, with Dragic going to Miami? What do you feel about him coming to the Eastern Conference?
I mean, I'm sure Miami's happy. Dragic is a good player, and I think he brings a lot to their team. And we'll try to catch him tonight without him, but we'll obviously be seeing a lot of him, for the next few years to come, assuming that he's back there next season. No, I mean, I think many teams obviously were trying to decide what their priorities were, and teams made some moves to try and make jumps up to the top of their conference or to be more competitive, and other teams kind of, stayed put, planning for the future. And so, for us, I think we, made the moves that were available to us to make to keep us in line with what our goals are going forward. We obviously know what kind of summer we're potentially able to have this year and next year. And, we lost a member, of our team, but we have a new guy, and we'll keep moving forward.
What do you need to see from Clay Anthony now that he's in the starting lineup that you really haven't seen yet?
Well, I think for Clay Anthony, hopefully these minutes and having a chance to play more, we'll see his shoulder start to relax a little bit. I think he, in short minutes, has been tough for him to really find a flow and find a rhythm to his game that we know exists. And we're hopeful that if he can play through some mistakes and have some time on the floor, that he still will have to earn, but that, having more than 3 or 4 minutes at times to, get a feel for the NBA game, we're hopeful that'll be something that will allow some of his game to come out more. And, we obviously need to continue to evaluate what he can do as the season winds down.
Martin's sick yesterday. Is he available today?
No, he's unavailable, and we don't know for sure in terms of Sunday and practice tomorrow. But we're hopeful we can get him back soon, and especially with Pablo moving on, we're a little thin at the guard spot, but we'll try to get Alexi, up to speed as much as possible tomorrow, and we'll probably have to throw him out there Sunday in some form or fashion.
Is Australia for now in the same boat he was, limited minutes, or do you expect more from him now with
No, I mean, I don't. Like I said, there's not a set, number of minutes that, we felt like was in concrete prior to the break. I think we were just trying to be smart and pay attention to, how he's moving out there and also the impact on the team in terms of putting him out on the floor. But he got some great workouts in over the All-Star break, and he's looked good in practice these last couple of days. And so I wouldn't say that there's no limit, but I think we'll be able to put him out there for more than the 15 to 20 minutes that we played him at before the break, and hopefully his body can continue to hold up and feel good as the season goes on.
Eric, obviously with the way the season played out, injuries, Melo, obviously Amari. When this season ends, will you want to just kind of throw it away, or how much will you be able to take from it, given how many things went kind of off the rails?
No, I think you have to learn from all experiences, good and bad. So we'll take a lot from this season in terms of, the things that we actually were able to do and kind of establish within our team and our organization. But it also gives us some insight into, the things that we need to do to get better, the type of players we need to do that. So there's a lot we'll be able to take from this year, and when we get to that point, we'll think about those things. But we still have a lot of games left to play this season that have our attention. Our fans deserve that. That's what we get paid to do. So every night when we show up, we're going to give it everything that we have.